Again. I was not warned that anything was going on that would require potential breaker flipping, so that was entirely, apparently, something I was not warned about. I don't know what the deal was with that, but I hope that you guys can actually see me. I don't know how to communicate with you all to make sure you know where to go. Where art thou? Where art my streamy peoples? Okay, people are here. Okay, I don't know. I tried to stream to the old stream, but then it had ended for long enough to where I couldn't restart the stream with the same stream key anymore because it already had archived the stream. Because sometimes if it loses connection very briefly, you can reconnect it. And you can just basically restart the same stream that you were on before. But because my entire computer crashed and I had to restart my computer, it unfortunately did not save it. So here we are. So I am so sorry. I know that I'm going to be missing a ton of questions. Like, if you guys had a question that you asked earlier, I didn't get to it, please put it in the chat, because like I'm flying blind now. I have none of the previous chat history. I don't have anything I can go to, and I apologize about that. That was totally completely an accident. I was kind of worried it might happen after the light flickered, so I'm glad I was able to at least like notify you guys it was a possibility it could happen. But it's unfortunate, but we'll try to do the best we can with what we've got. So ask away, ask your questions, and we'll hang out. Ooh, hope to be done moving for now. Been moving a lot. Hope to see you all well. Well, it has been a minute, Candace. Glad to see you here. And I also hope that you're done moving, because I hate moving. It is one of the worst things in life to me is moving. So I hope that is also done for you as well. So, but thank you all so much for sticking it out here with me. I appreciate it. It's I feel like I've just been it's been like a month of technical difficulties, both things of my own creation as well as not. So, RIP. Yeah, it took about 3 minutes. Yeah, that sounds about right. Would you ever dye your hair a color other than black? Maybe red or dark blue? I've thought about that. My problem with doing other colors is I have very dark roots naturally. Like I have very dark brown roots. And so I would worry if I did other colors, it might look too obvious. Like it would show up and I'd have to like constantly be bleaching my hair. And I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to be like a hair bleach girly. But because I just generally don't have like my hair's a lot healthier now than it has been in a long time, but I didn't want to go through bleaching. I have thought about doing maybe sort of like a dip dye at the ends, like doing maybe kind of black all the way down from the roots to like the mid length, and at the ends doing a color, like doing purple or something. I feel like purple, if I was gonna do a color, purple would be the most likely. I would also maybe do red. I don't think I do blue. I do lime green. I probably do lime green before I did blue. Which I probably have to go to a professional colorist to get that one done. I also feel like lime green would fade terribly, but I think at some point in my life I'll probably experience, before I cut this off, because I'm sure at some point in my life I'll go back to having short hair, but at some point I will probably, because at this point I've just had so much like layering of black hair dye, of both box black dye and self-dyeing at home, and I had it done in a salon maybe once, I think. So I just have layers and layers and layers of black dye on my head, so it'd be very, very hard to lift it enough to be able to bleach it, to be able to get it like to like a saturated other color. I could probably lift it enough to do like a very, very dark burgundy or like a really, really dark blue, but it would take a lot to get it to be like Sonic blue or like ruby red. Like it would be a hot minute, but I try it, just to experiment. But I think I like black on me. Like I think that's the color that's flattering on my skin tone. I think it would be difficult to find a good flattering color match for me that was not black. But I'd be open. I'd do like purple, lime green. Probably when there's anything else I'd want to do, maybe red. I don't think any other colors are really that appealing to me. That's kind of my wheelhouse, but I think I like lime green, I like purple, so that's my jam. Good question though. I just like the maintenance, I think, more than anything is like my my weakness. Oh, hot pink and black stripes. Oh, that must be like a lot of maintenance then. I don't think I could do it. I'm just like I'm not good at like hair maintenance stuff. I don't think I have to have somebody else do it. Oh, blurple. That's a look for sure. Like green fades to yellow. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I could probably find something where I could do like a color depositing conditioner that was like green, and I could probably maintain it all right. Like, that's what I like about black is I can do like a color. I can basically go into any brand that has a color depositing conditioner in black, slap it on my hair, and like it does pretty well for covering up my roots in between like full all over dyes. And I feel like that would be really difficult if I had like a bright neon color, you know. Colorist here. Reddish could be bluish. Not a chance, probably. You need to have almost white hair, even if it's dark. Ooh, I see. I was kind of thinking of like when you do like the temporary colors in your hair. We do like a color depositing conditioner. If you have virgin hair, how it turns like it'll turn like a light to medium brunette. Like it'll turn it kind of like a dark burgundy or a dark purple. But obviously, if you're dealing with like dyed hair versus virgin hair of a dark color, it's a different situation. But good to know, because I'm definitely not a colorist. I've never had colored hair, so I don't know anything about that. I had a friend that was really into it when I was in like middle school, but I wasn't allowed to dye my hair, so didn't get to experiment with that. Frankly, probably was good for me because I think I was at that age. It was like peak emo time for hair. So like everyone would have had like super bleached hair with like clip-on extensions and like just the like neon colors and stripes, and like it would have been a lot. It would have been a lot to maintain. I have black on the top and white on the bottom. It's a pain to maintain. Oh, especially with like I imagine the black like bleeding down to like the lighter color. That would be a problem. Not a question, but an update. I've been getting better expressing what I want in a scene and why, and seeking to combine that with the top's preference as well. By the way, love the video about dom care today. Well, you are so welcome, and I appreciate the update, and cheers to you for making concrete improvements. I do not like blue. That is accurate. I'm just saying that it would be, I could probably do, because like sapphire blue is like a thing you can get at Sally's Beauty. That's a thing that people do. Follow-up question. Not telling a new potential partner or the person you are starting to date about a serious relationship is bad for them, but it's in some ways disrespectful to the other partner too. I feel like it probably would be. I feel like there's certainly like if I had a partner that was talking to somebody online, maybe they met playing a video game or something, I don't know, maybe they I don't know how else people meet online these days that isn't a dating app on the internet, like Twitter, I guess, I don't know. They meet somewhere online and they start talking, and there's a romantic inclination or at least possibility to the conversations, and if it went on for long enough, I would certainly wonder, okay, why haven't you told them about me? Why haven't you mentioned that you're in a serious relationship? Not even necessarily because of the disrespect, but because if you are a comfortable, open, polyamorous person, I sort of feel like you wouldn't have a problem bringing that up right away. Like if you were proud of your partner, if you appreciated them, like why wouldn't you say like, hey, like, you know, hey, sorry, I was AFK yesterday. I was on a date with my amazing partner. Her name is so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think there's a way to naturally bring it up that's not like, I have something I need to tell you. It's really, really serious and terrible and bad, you know? Like, I think there's a way to build up to it that is not necessarily damaging. But yeah, it's disrespectful, but also it makes me as the other partner feel like suspicious about like, why haven't you told them? Because to me, that starts to take on the flavor of the like, you're not telling them you're polyamorous because you're hoping to date them and only them and like have a sneaky secret kind of cheaty type relationship, because it's easier to avoid having those conversations with somebody online compared to somebody in person. Like if you live with a partner or you have a wife or a spouse or something, it's a lot harder to hide that from like an in-person partner that like you're going to their house, they're vice versa, right? Like it's a lot harder to hide that. Like, hey, what's that other car in your driveway? You know, like. But what do I know? I didn't ask a question. I just want to mention another taboo. Abduction play. Oh, absolutely. That's definitely a big taboo. For people that missed this originally at the beginning of the first part of the stream, I asked people what their most, personally to them, taboo kinks are, or kinks that make them scared or afraid to do. And like, if you want to include information about why that is, I'm also excited to hear that reason. Yeah, I don't know what my roommate's doing some shit. I don't know. I did ask a question. I just went, okay. Do you believe in vampires? No. I am not a very super naturally inclined person as far as like vampires, trees having spirits, you know, magical invisible salamanders that only children can see. Like I don't really believe in any of that stuff. I think if you look at the stories that existed primarily in Europe, but also kind of analogous stories around the world, honestly, in world literature, a lot of the stories about vampires, I feel like, are more like allegories that have to do with like class struggle and class divide than like literally being about a blood-sucking creature. Like I could go on and on about why that is, but I think that it tends to be more like of an allegorical thing as opposed to a literal thing in storytelling, or just like, you know, things we can't necessarily explain. And I think that there is definitely, kind of in a more broad sense, there's definitely a possibility for us having things about existence and the soul that exists outside of our ability to perceive it currently as we understand it through science as human beings. I think certainly our knowledge can be updated over time as far as things like ESP, or like near-death experiences or things like that. I think we're going to have more information about if hopefully we don't destroy the planet and we keep being able to develop society without just, you know, getting rid of the whole planet. But that would be, I would be skeptical. Like I'm just like, I don't really have strong convictions when it comes to like spirituality or religion. Like I'm just sort of like, I don't know, I feel like humans are too stupid to know. Like sort of I don't know what this makes me exactly, but sort of my opinion about a lot of things related to like religion, spirituality, the supernatural is sort of like, I don't know, humans kind of seem like we're not perfect, flawless beings. And so we have limitations to our perception and understanding of how the world and universe works. So like, I don't know. Do we have all the information and senses necessary to be able to perceive everything there is to know about reality? Probably not. I don't like Predator and Prey play. I was always scared when even playing hide and seek. Oh, or tag as a kid, and the damage just doesn't work for me. Oh, I totally get that. Yeah, absolutely. I am not that way. I like, but for me, like I was always very sensitive to really loud noises as a kid, and I mean, I still am today. See earlier on this live stream, I've always been very sensitive to noises. Like I used to. Like a list of things. I used to hate the game Operation. If one of my siblings was playing with a friend, I would literally go hide in the opposite side of the house and like put a pillow over my head, or like try to go into the covers in my parents' room to be able to like get away from the Operation noise, because I hated the buzzer noise. I hated that. Also, even to this day, like when there was the test of the emergency alert system, was it yesterday or the day before? It took me a minute. I knew it was coming. I knew it was happening. It happened, and I still had all right, everything is fine. Aliens haven't invaded. We're not about to get nuked out of existence. We can relax. Everything is cool. Like, I think it's THX. I think that was like a logo for some company. I don't remember what that company was, but they were for animated movies in the 90s for VHS tapes. There's a THX. I guess it's a suite of high fidelity audiovisual reproduction standards for movie theaters, screening rooms, home theaters, computer speakers, video game consoles, car audio systems, and video games. So there you go. So the TXX trailer that precedes movies is based on the Deep Note, which is a distinctive glissando up from a rumbling low pitch. Oh, that actually has a term. Okay, that scared me. Whatever that glissando up from a rumbling low pitch is. The Deep Note. I was terrified of the Deep Note, apparently. That scared me. And then, yeah, any sort of, emergency alert, storm warning thing. There was something else. I can't remember what it was, but there was a handful of things like that, which I was just very scared of as a child. Why is this a part 2 stream? Were there technical issues? Yeah. So my roommate was messing around, and they accidentally or on purpose, I don't know, they flipped the breaker and then turned off all power upstairs, and so my stream crashed, and it was off for long enough to where I had to just restart the stream. Oh, I can never do dental or medical play because I had braces. And when I got them taken off, they tried to do a mold of my teeth. And the mold got stuck to my teeth. And they had to put it on for 30 minutes. Oh, poor you. Oh, my God. No. I honestly didn't even consider that as a possibility until I heard a news story about that the other day. And that would be terrifying. I'm with you on that. I did not like getting braces at all. Yeah, the emergency alert system triggers me to have a panic attack. And I know it's funny because I a couple of years ago, I feel like there was all the boomers were all these weak ass millennial snowflakes that need trigger warnings for the national alert system. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, honestly, I think for me, because I don't know if boomers would have grown up with it as a child, but that is a noise that I associate personally with as a very little kid, 9/11 and hurricanes, and things that I was actively experiencing or were really scary for adults around me. So I have a long history of those things being associated with scary events or adults telling me that something was scary and bad and I needed to be cautious and be aware. So I don't know. This is not my favorite noise. All the kids would scream while it was being played. Honestly, I don't know what he's doing with the electronics. He's always tinkering with stuff. He has a lot of shop equipment in the garage, and I don't know. I'm gonna try not to ask too many questions, to be honest. Otherwise, I get ranted at about oh, this is this, and it does this, and I bought this thing. I'm I don't care. So. Try not to ask too many questions. But anyways, non-kink question. Do you play video games? If yes, what's your favorite / one you play regularly? So I am currently playing Diablo 4. Do I love it? No. Is it an enjoyable time sink? Yes. I played it quite a bit when I was sick with COVID because I couldn't pay attention enough to watch a documentary. So I just had to play something that was really mindless. And so I enjoyed it for that reason. I feel now I'm at a level, because I'm almost level 60, where it's gotten kind of grindy and repetitive, and I'm not really that much of a fan of it. From that perspective, I don't think I'm going to keep playing it for very long, but Diablo 4 is kind of my current game. I most recently played before that Cyberpunk, and then the Witcher franchise, all 3 video games. My probably favorite niche game that I've always been, I don't know how niche it is really, but I've always been very excited to go back to it, is the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles game for the GameCube. I don't know what about that game was so fascinating to me at that age. I think it was the game didn't really tell you how to beat the game. It was like, oh, you had to like go to this one level and get this one thing from context clues and then go here and do this. Like, I was like deep in the game facts. I was reading all the guides online. I loved all the different random encounters with like different groups. Like, it's not a game that really like hand holds you through the world building. You just kind of get it from playing it for long enough. Because I never had any of the other like major consoles that Final Fantasy games were released on. Like, I never played like any of the other Final Fantasy games before that. We very briefly had a PlayStation, the first PlayStation. However, I was so young when that came out. I played like Barbie Explorer. Like, I was not playing any of the Final Fantasy games at that age. I was playing Barbie Explorer and like I don't know what else, probably like the arcade suite of games with like Pac-Man on it and stuff. Which I remember that there was like a GameCube arcade classics game, and one of the games in there I always remember playing, it was like a dungeon crawler with like 100 levels and like slimes, and like I never beat it, and I found it kind of creepy and weird, but also in a good way. Oh, but yeah. Oh, did I ever get into playing Pokemon or Animal Crossing? Oh, big time. Yeah. I actually got into Animal Crossing before we owned a GameCube because we had neighbors we were really good friends with, and they had Animal Crossing, and I loved going to their house to watch them play Animal Crossing. Actually, growing up, basically almost until I was in high school, I very rarely played video games on my own. I pretty much always watched other people. I was like the OG Twitch viewer before Twitch was a thing. I always watched other people play video games because I was a very nervous child, and I did not, like, I was nervous about, like, what if I die? What if the characters die? Like, what happens? What's gonna happen? And so I didn't want to play on my own, and so I'd either watch, like, my dad play, or a sibling play, or a neighbor play, or something like that, and I'd watch them play, or, like, if I had a sleepover, I'd, like, watch my friends play video games. That's mostly what I would do. But as I got older, I'd play Animal Crossing, I'd play, like, kind of more casual games on my own, and then eventually I got more confident to be able to play that. I never played Okami! No, I never played Okami. I missed out on that one. I don't know why I didn't play it. Maybe it didn't have a system it came out on. But Pokemon I got really into. I started playing that when the DS came out. And then I actually went back because I had like an OG DS. I had like the brick, like the silver one before the DS Lite, I think, came out. And so I was able to play GBA games at it. So I played Pokemon Emerald, and then I went back and I played, I think it was Leaf Green. I don't remember, it was either Leaf Green or Fire Red. And then I played, it was Emerald, and then it was that one, and then maybe Platinum, and Soul Silver, and I didn't play another Pokemon game for a long time until Sword and Shield came out. And I really liked Sword and Shield, but it was only because of the best Pokemon ever created, Wooloo. I love Wooloo. I'm obsessed with Wooloo. Wooloo is my favorite Pokemon. He's round, he's cute, he's got little braids in his hair, he's so fluffy. He's like, my ideal Pokemon would be if you mixed up Rockruff and Wooloo. Actually, aren't there's like Pokemon combiners where you can like combine Pokemon and see what they look like. I'm gonna put it in and see what happens. Actually, I don't know I think this is only for the original Pokemon. I would like, okay, let's see, let's do, we got Rockruff and we got Wooloo. You guys can't see this, but this is for my own amusement. It surprisingly does look like my dog. Oh my, wait. Oh, what does this look like? It mostly just looks like Glope Bunny. Alright, I'm gonna link this in the comments. And you guys can do it on your own. You can combine Wooloo and Rockruff together. And you can see what I mean. It just ends up looking like Lope Bunny. If you do Rulu first and then Rockruff, it looks like Lope Bunny. But if you do Rockruff first and then Rulu, then it just, it kind of looks like a raccoon that's been lost. It's got like a dust bunny cover over it. It's I don't know, it's a little bit of a nightmare, to be honest, but they did their best. Oh my god. Wooloo looks sort of like if Mareep was a normal type. Yeah, exactly. Mareep was also one of my favorite Pokemon from the... Johto region was honestly my favorite. I loved the Johto region, especially in the anime. Johto region was like... Was that peak Pokemon? Honestly, it might have been. I feel like it's one of those scenarios where the sophomore album is like the superior album, and then it kind of slowly goes downhill after that. Then every once in a while, they put out a good album, but it's never quite where the peak was. Like, I basically only ever play the new Pokemon games if I am personally interested in the new Pokemon for the region. Like, there has to be at least like 2 new Pokemon that I'm like, oh, I want to play that one. Why I love Wooloo. Wooloo is the best. I really love Chikorita for some reason. Oh, Cyndaquil, actually. Cyndaquil is my favorite starter Pokemon. Facts. Fact. Fact. Fun fact for you. Cyndaquil is my favorite of all the starters. So there you go. So yeah, I like Cyberpunk, and like I was saying, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is my current favorite game. Like, kind of just the nostalgia is really good. It's a really like kind of weird and unique video game, and the fact that it doesn't just like there's tutorials, but it doesn't really hold your hand, which as like a kid is like, especially as like a middle school age kid, was really interesting. And I love the Harvest Moon games. I love playing Harvest Moon. I haven't loved the more recent ones as much. I don't like, my first one I ever played was Harvest Moon, Another Wonderful Life on also the GameCube. And the art style and the setting, again, it doesn't really handhold you through what to do. I feel like that was a very unique experience to play. Also, there's a very creepy teddy bear you can buy and put in that game. There's like weird, unexplained shit that happens in that game for like, it's creepy. It's like creepy in this very unexpected way. But like, I actually really like the fishing mini game in that Harvest Moon game because it's very relaxing. Like, it's not like how it is in Stardew Valley where like, I feel like it gets kind of stressful. Like, it's quaint and the design is very pleasant. And I don't know, I feel like they've kind of gone more in like either the 8-bit or in like the super overly cutesy pastel anime direction, and I like it when it's a little bit more realistic as opposed to purely kind of like, you know, super chibi, you know, sort of environment stuff. I don't know. I also always name all of my animals in Animal Crossing games after flowers and fruit. So I eventually run out of names, but I usually try to name all of my animals after flowers and fruit. I don't know what that says about me, but I would probably get a GameCube again if I could play this. But I do know they remastered, actually. They remastered Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. So I'm looking forward to I don't know at this point when I'm gonna have time to play it, just because there's like, oh, there's Baldur's Gate 3, there's the Phantom Liberty expansion for Cyberpunk, I gotta finish Diablo 4. I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna try it. Make it work. Make it happen. My partner and I could not stop calling Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Pokemon BDSM. Listen, they know what they were doing with those names. They knew what they were doing. Vaporeon is the kinkiest Pokemon. Isn't that the one that everyone says they want to fuck? Like, is that the meme? I don't know if that one actually would be the kinkiest, though. Jigglypuff is definitely the biggest brat for sure, though. For real. Absolutely. No contest on that one. Looks similar to Kinky Patrick in the SpongeBob episode. Oh my god. I forgot about that. Oh no. Yeah, Harvest Moon was legit. I mean, they still technically make like Harvest Moon games, but under a different brand. Piplup is my favorite starter, but if Johto, I pick Cyndaquil for sure. Yeah. I'm with you on that one. I feel like Piplup, I'm always disappointed by like the third evolution of like most Pokemon. I feel like for some reason we decided that all third evolution for starters needed to be bipedal, and I kind of hate that. It always makes me disappointed. It was like, oh, they made them bipedal again. Like, they don't have to be humanoid, you know? Like, I feel like it's maybe better if they're not bipedal. All of the Orange Islands, the anime, the best. Listen, Orange Islands were popping. It's true. Yeah, I think Cyndaquil overall, like the whole evolutionary chain and like Typhlosion, especially at the end, like it's cool all the way through. Like you don't get disappointed at the end when it's Typhlosion. You're like, oh, why is this that way? Honestly, Typhlosion is the only Pokemon that to me is acceptable for being bipedal. I don't think that, but for the starters, I do. Yeah. Oh, Smoliv. I do love Smoliv, though. Listen, Smoliv is probably the most disappointing evolution for me. I wanted him to just become a bigger and bigger olive. That's all I wanted. It's just like, he doesn't really change shape or like become an olive tree or anything else, right? I did not want it to go the way that like Exeggutor or... That's Exeggutor, right? The one that like is like the tree Pokemon. Yeah. I'm not going crazy, right? I feel like I didn't want to go that route. I feel like Exeggutor is like, especially the fucking, like the one that has like the really long neck that's like the regional evolution. Like, it's supposed to be like a fucking pineapple. Like, that drove me nuts. I was like, this is like somebody is fucking high. Pokemon HQ. Oh my god. But no, Smoliv I loved. But Smoliv evolves into like some fucking dumbass giant tree, and I hated that. I just wanted Smoliv to just become a bigger and bigger olive. Instead it becomes like some kind of like olive fucking angel thingy. Like, I don't even mind the Dolliv, like when it kind of goes more the direction of like Gardevoir. Like it was kind of going in a Gardevoir-X direction. I was like, okay, that's fine. But Arboliov or whatever it is, I don't love that one. That one's too far for me. I don't love it. I wish it could have just been bigger and bigger olives. Just eventually an olive that's like the size of a fucking Snorlax. That's what I wanted. Just to like roll around. Oh god, yeah. Yep, Hypno, very popular for obvious reasons. That is true. Season 1 and 2 of Pokemon was crazy. Ash was savage and just mean with Misty in the earlier seasons. Accurate. Plus, Misty's crush was way more obvious. Also, James had some savage voice lines. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, when they didn't realize how long it would be going on for, and they kind of just went like, fuck it, you know? Like, let's do what we want. Then they were like, oh, we have to play it kind of safe because we could actually make this work really long term. It got a little bit more disappointing. I used to watch the Pokemon anime and like VHS tape. That was my source. They're shutting down support on Online Connection. What? They're shutting down support on Online Connection for Animal Crossing New Leaf? What? Why are they doing that? Bitches. Mad about that. Like, I get, this is the problem with everything. Like, if I had a GameCube that worked, I could boot up and play any of the games that I currently have on disc that are not scratched up. But instead, now they're like, oh, we have to have servers and online access, and never mind, no more video game for you now. Like, that's so sad. I mean, they also kind of screwed the pooch with the most recent game, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Like, they just kind of went like, never mind, we're not doing updates anymore. Like, that game was crazy popular and had like so many like viewers on Twitch and like people doing mods for it. And I'm kind of going to the. I wanted to get back into playing it too because it's very cute and like fun to play around like Halloween, fall time. I feel like, and I mean really any time of year, but it's especially cute then. But they. Yeah, they stopped doing, I think, regular support for it, and I don't know. I'm not seeing on here in the Wikipedia where they talk about kind of like what's next for the Animal Crossing franchise. But I'm assuming they're doing some kind of like shitty paid thing. Because it was like, there was like 10 years almost, right? There was like, maybe 10, maybe it was like 8 or 9. There was a number of years. Or I did Happy Home Paradise. They already did that. So it's gonna be like it's gonna be like 2030 before we have another new mainline Animal Crossing game, and they're probably gonna have like no updates for New Horizons between now and then. It's just silly. I haven't actually played the DLC at all. I was very excited about it. I was like super stoked for the DLC and everything else, but I just like, I find like designing a whole island to be overwhelming. Like I don't know how to like design it to look good, and so it frustrates me. And so I get overwhelmed by like I do all this work to make my island look good, and then I don't want to play it because I get overwhelmed by all the decor decisions I have to make. I think I probably do have, maybe at my parents' house, we may still have the GameCube. You can't visit other people's houses? Oh, that's sad. Womp, womp, womp. Gengar is #1. I also do like Miss Drevis. That's also a really good Pokemon. Definitely up there. Best haunted hat Pokemon that there is. Hello, everyone. I'm new to the community here. You're amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Jordan. I really appreciate that. All right, so we have about like 15 minutes left. If you could let me know if y'all have any more questions I haven't answered, anything maybe from the previous stream I didn't get to. And Diglett is the kinkiest Pokemon. I mean, I don't know. Is it good for us to be speculating about what the kinkiest Pokemon is? Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't do that. I'm trying to make sure I haven't missed any questions. I watched my sir play Red Dead Redemption. LOL, I think that's what it's called. One of my favorite kink activities, honestly, is like my partner sitting on the couch and like me sitting next to them at their feet wearing like a ball gag collar and heavy bondage while they just like play video games. Like, I don't know why I find that like so satisfying, but I genuinely get a kick out of that. Like that's like I feel content and good in life when I can do that. Do you play horror type video games? Not really. I don't have anything against them. They're just not on my radar. Like I always have other games I'd rather be playing, you know? In preschool, I'd watch the older boys play Roller Coaster Tycoon. That game is fucking legit. That's like an A+ video game. I got the experience kids being creative sadists. Oh my god. No, I love Roller Coaster Tycoon. That's a great one. That was, I think actually we bought that game because I want to say we just got it like randomly at like Target or Walmart or something one day. Like it wasn't even like we were looking for it. Just was like, that was back in the day where you could just go to a store and buy like a physical disc for a video game that you'd never heard of before, and it would probably be pretty good. Like there was no Steam library. There's no online only access. That didn't exist. Was not a thing at all. It reminds me of when I got too freaked out playing Silent Hill and kind of next to play for me as I watched. I didn't ever do that as a kid. I mean, we didn't have any horror games or anything in my house. There was no Silent Hill or any of that stuff. I didn't get exposed to that until I was older, like Fatal Frame or anything. That was like I was in college by the time I got exposed to that stuff. No, yeah, I didn't get to play Okami at all. I've not played Cult of the Lamb either. I haven't played that. I haven't played Dead by Daylight. I'll see all more games I could be playing that I'm not currently playing. Y'all gonna make me fucking play Diablo after done streaming. I have to go to the gym still. I'm gonna try and get like a reasonable amount of sleep tonight just because the dog woke me up like 50 times yesterday because I want to get up early and work. But got so much to do. It's like Domestic Bliss, Kink Edition, just to sit in full gear while you're top games. It truly is. Truly, truly is. I loved Theme Park as a kid. Wait, is that a video game? I don't think I've heard of that. It sounds like a knockoff from Roller Coaster Tycoon. Is that like shots fired if I say that? Do you think you could do a video on what to do if you run into your boss at a dungeon? LOL sounds like a manga title. It really does. Like, I ran into my boss at a kink dungeon. Yeah, I can see that. Some version of that being a manga title. I could definitely make a video about like, oh no, you ran into somebody that you knew at a dungeon, what now? I think kind of my general overview advice would probably be find a way to discreetly talk about it afterwards if it's important to you. If you're not certain that you both saw each other, zip the lip, say nothing, is my opinion. But if you fully make eye contact and you're like aware that you each saw each other and were recognized, I think, you know, then you got to be a little bit more sneaky. Hey, I know that we saw each other at that event over the weekend. I would appreciate it if we don't bring it up. And then just leave it like that. Very simple, very discreet, no details. And then hopefully they will just say yep and move on. However, obviously if it's your boss and there's like a, you know, they have power and authority over you, then it gets to be more difficult with knowing what to do. And have, because like theoretically, I guess your boss could make your life difficult for you if they know you're kinky. But I think, I mean, honestly, like, even if it became a scenario where they started acting weird about it, like, that would be an HR problem on their part. Like, what you do in your free time outside of the office where you're not representing the company you work for, like, that should be a non-issue. Like, it's not like you're, like, talking to your coworkers or your customers or whatever about BDSM, right? I have not played Baldur's Gate yet. I don't know. I feel like I'll probably get to it after I play Phantom Liberty because I already have Cyberpunk and everything downloaded on my computer, so I feel like it's probably easier for me to just boot up Cyberpunk, play through the DLC, and I know a lot of people have been saying like, oh wow, everything changed, and I really feel like a lot of the major changes with Cyberpunk already happened over the last couple of years, and now the DLC is kind of the finishing touches on some features that people have been wanting. But I think I'll probably play that first because it'll take less time, and then I'll move on to Baldur's Gate because I think that's going to be a really long game if I play that. So, and then I'll probably with the holidays coming up and everything just around the corner. I mean, it's crazy like how quickly the holidays are coming. I will probably be doing some more of my Christmas story click and point adventure streams, which we love doing. They're very fun. They're like, if you guys haven't seen them before, every year around Christmas time, I basically play these like click and point Christmas adventure games that are like like interactive I Spy puzzles combined with other types of puzzles, and it's usually based on some kind of like famous Christmas story. And usually they take a couple hours to get through. They usually play them for like two or three streams, and they're just like a little nice, cozy, relaxing adventure. So if you threaten my job, I'll show you why I'm a job. No, don't do that. Definitely do not do that. Do not in any way threaten anyone. exploit anyone, try to get a raise or promotion out of it. Just like either zip the lip entirely or be very discreet and be like, okay, we're not talking about this, right? And if they can't agree to that, then you escalate to HR before they take it there. Yeah. So we will be doing more Christmas stories this year. I don't think they've been making any new ones recently, but we'll see. We'll find out. We'll see what happens. Maybe even we may not even do like specifically the Christmas stories brand, but it'll be a game like that. Like we'll do some kind of like holiday seasonal themed video game adventures. You could do a Halloween point and click. Oh, you know what? I hadn't even thought of that. Do they make those? I mean, I'm sure they do. I'll have to look into that. That could be a good option too. I got Nutcracker and the Scrooge one. Yeah, I think we got the Nutcracker. We played that one. And I think the Scrooge one was the first one we played. There was also one that was just like Candy Cane Adventures. It was just like some grandma in like, like the woods somewhere. Oh, God. Okay. Let me see here. Oh, I gotta get my BF/Dom/Daddy. Said I gotta get starting, get ready for bed. I already stayed up past my bedtime. Oh, have a good night, Mass. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so I guess I will say this because we're wrapping up here. And feel free to add any last minute questions if I haven't answered anything already. I am looking to travel and or just teach online classes more this coming year. Knock on wood, I don't want to jinx anything. I originally in 2019, going into 2020, my plan was to start transitioning to teach online classes more and travel to go to conventions and teach. However, COVID happened. Things got canceled. Things moved online. I ended up doing quite a number of classes online in that time period. And for the most part, I really enjoyed them. They were good experiences. And I am hopefully going to be teaching more online classes and in-person classes at conventions over the next coming year. I have some stuff coming up potentially later this fall. I also have stuff coming up potentially in other parts of the year. So if you want to keep your eyes peeled for that, please do. But also, if there is a convention that is local to you within the continental area of North America, right? Like if we're Canada, we're in the US, kind of keep it there. I'm not going to Europe. It's too much time, too expensive, too that, like not yet anyway. So if it is somewhere in America or in Canada, I am looking for conventions to apply to teach at. I would really love to get to do some more things kink related this year in terms of travel, going places I've never been able to go to before. And if you have any recommendations for places I should check out, usually for me, the times of year that I can't go to an event would be Easter weekend, because that is when Kink Fest is, which is like my must go to kink event because it's local to me. And then usually kind of later summer, June and July, I do birthday stuff. So that's like kind of off the table. But if it's outside of there, like if we're talking April, May, or kind of later in the summer, like kind of mid-July onwards, or anytime in the fall, anytime in the winter, I'm pretty much open. So if anyone knows of any conventions that I can apply to work with or teach at, or just want to, like maybe this isn't open for that now, but you want to put it on my radar, is like, I'd love it if you'd come teach here. I'm also open for teaching like online classes. If anyone has like a local organization that does online classes, also totally happy to work with people that way. I usually do teach online classes, like self-advertising them, and I'm planning on, I don't know when I'm going to start doing this, but maybe December and kind of onwards to the new year, I'm hoping to teach classes online and have kind of at least a run of doing them online again. Because I've basically all the classes I teach, I've done at least one run of them online, if not like 2 or 3 runs of them online at this point, but it's been a little while. So I'm hoping to get more practice doing that. Christmas Carol was the Scrooge game. Yeah, it was. I don't think it was there for Candy Cane Adventure. That was the first year I did it, so that maybe would not have been the year to do that. Oh, the Mark in Nashville? Okay. I've heard that before. I've definitely heard of the Mark in Nashville. So if somebody like if there's an organization that's like wants to work with me, usually I say conventions because then I will have my travel comped because like paying for like flights to go to the East Coast is like fairly expensive for me. So like as long as I can have travel comp, like I don't like that's fine if you want me to teach in person. But if someone wants to facilitate virtual classes, I'm also totally open for that. I like it's been so important to me to both teach online and get into teaching in person as well because I think both really have their values and advantages. Like it's so nice to not have to deal with YouTube censorship talking about certain topics. But yeah, I'll keep that on the radar. Online classes are a good idea. Yeah, like I did them like the first year of the pandemic. I did like kind of 2021. I was doing a lot of online classes. I think I still have recordings up of those online classes. I would really like to teach them again. So keep an eye out for that. I'm gonna be kind of looking to do that. Maybe one a month. I'll probably do one a month for a while, kind of just see how that goes, and then also like hopefully doing more teaching in person, online, and hopefully that'll be entertaining and fun. So that'll be on y'all's radar. But why is my mug so big? It's actually really that big. This is like what it is next to my face. Which I guess maybe it is kind of big and I can cover my face with it. It's my big mug and I used it because I had a chai latte in here that was like 50% ice. So that's why it's a big cup, is because I had to have room for all the ice in it. So there you go. Now you know. Really, at this point, it's just milk, sugar, and cinnamon. Like, it's not really... The chai element of it is pretty lost, but it got really watered down with all the ice I put in it, which actually has melted by this point, so... Shout out to the scene kids in high school. I spiked my hair for a short bit, but I don't anymore because it's just too much work. Yeah, I kind of was too young for the hair spiking trend, but... That was certainly a look. Certainly a look. I know. It would definitely be a throwback if I had a bob again. Like, I had a bob for years. Like, I had a bob for like 5 or 6 years. It was the bob era was a long one for sure. What are some fun activities to have or do at a munch? We have coloring books at ours. Simple board games, card games, coloring books. Those are usually what I more gravitate towards. Any kind of icebreaker type games are usually good. Usually you want something that helps facilitate conversation or people can kind of do while also speaking at the same time. I also really like venues that have options for things to do at them, like darts or pinball or other types of arcade games. Those are always fun to do. Or just like an outdoor munch. Maybe there's like outdoor like barbecue type games, right? Like cornhole or something, I guess. Like that's like the most fucking white person barbecue activity there is. But like something that sort of facilitates, an activity. But yeah, kind of like simple, quick board games that are for like larger groups of people are good. I have Ion, Brilliant, Sapphire. You knew exactly what I was talking about, Gray. This is exactly what I was referencing. It looks so cute. It's a great color. I have to keep that in mind. The Ion Brilliant colors are really good. I do like those. I wanted to try the Brilliant, I think it's Brilliant Amethyst, but again, hair's dark. It wouldn't show up doing anything at this point in time. Oh, the kitty's name is Nadja. As in Nadja from What We Do in the Shadows. And she is the most cat. She hides all day. She only likes one person, and she meows a lot. And she's not really like climbing things, I guess. She's not really much of a climber or a jumper, but she's very cat. There isn't much of an in-person scene in my hometown. Would you have any recommendations on how to start or encourage one? If there's people in your area on FetLife, I would say the easiest thing to do is start some kind of very simple, easy meetup. like a munch and just put it out there. Hey, I'm doing a meetup for kinky people at this. Usually I try to gravitate towards if you have some kind of like LGBT or like queer friendly or centric space. Those are usually the easiest ones to have kink meetups at. But you know, if you're in a really small town, you may not have that option, but maybe a park or something too. Just like find a place to have a meetup somewhere. Coffee shop, diner, pizza place, bar, park. Those are all popular options depending on what the weather is like and what's available where you live. And then just advertise it, you know, post it on local pages, on FetLife, if there's Facebook groups, Discord chats. Make sure to get out there and advertise it. And I think eventually you'll probably have at least a couple people show up. But if you're in a really small town, that might not always be possible. Especially if you have like a larger town near you. If they have, like, let's say you're in a Chicago suburb. You could certainly advertise it in like a Chicago area, like event group on FetLife, for example. And hopefully people that are in that suburb will be like, oh, I didn't know we had something in that suburb. I've been going out to Chicago to be able to go to events. And like that can certainly be a good option. Absolutely. I can't stop thinking about the girl last night who hated King Talk, and I couldn't physically concentrate in the video because her clip-on extensions were showing the whole time. Wow. I didn't want to go there, but certainly in the first video, the clip-ons were clipping on. That is, they were clipping on. Yes, no, the person who hated King Talk because it was brainwashing children into thinking they had to not be vanilla anymore. Which was just like the biggest citation needed ever. Having a single text message that says, Daddy knows best, followed by a different text message that says, I'll bruise you next time. And then like a TikTok where somebody's like, what was the first TikTok? It was something like, when you're into BDSM and your partner smacks your butt for the first time in forever. And it's like kind of like a little cheeky, like, oh, that was so hard. Like kind of like wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hit me harder type thing. Yeah, no, that was cringe. That was very cringe. But, well, I don't know. She just didn't like it. But she couldn't really like justify why she didn't like it other than just like, I'm not going to tell you guys about my sex life. I'm going to very heavily imply that I am kinky. And not only am I kinky, I am better than these other kinky people because I don't feel like I need to spread my amazing, disgusting sex life all over the internet because I'm a lady. Like, it's like the vibes from her were just vile. Like, just like somebody who, I'm like, how the fuck do you have like 150? I mean, this is the thing, right? If you hate something, if you're willing to hate on a marginalized or minority community openly and say why it's bad and disgusting, you just simply will get 6 figures of views. That is just how it works, you know? Ooh, color tanzanite. I will have to look into tanzanite. Thank you. Honestly, the best thing in my life is the fact that there's a Sally's that's close enough to me to where I can get local delivery. So I can just order all my hair care stuff and get it delivered to my door. Honestly, we need a browser extension that would just post citation needed or reasoning or evidence as a comment. That would be a good one. We've had a couple of groups in the past, but they've largely been iffy on their consent practices. Oh, that's not good. In public spaces to the extent of being banned from local bars. Also not a large town. I mean, if kink stuff's been banned from local places, I mean, honestly, at that point, I might pivot to doing more like a discussion group setting. Like, if you have a local library that has like reservable like study hall, study room type things, see if you can reserve a study room for a discussion group with a potluck. You know, have everyone bring over, you know, chips and dip, finger foods, muffins, donuts, whatever. Have some kind of food and like drink related thing to it, but then also have it set up of like also being a discussion group where, you know, people aren't going to get rowdy in public. It's closed off from the rest of the library. So people, like, even if they do get loud and obnoxious, it's quarantined from the rest of the library, you know? There's not, as far as I know, YouTube messaging is not a thing. That's not, like, that used to be a thing, but they got rid of it. Sorry if this is spam. I don't see any spam. Did I not answer your question? I feel like I answered. Oh, did I not answer this? I'm pretty sure I answered this. I'll just quickly go over it and then we'll wrap up the stream. Do you think that not telling someone about a partner is a disrespect for the partner, not only for the new person? Yes. I'm sorry if that wasn't clear. I feel like I was clear about this. Yes, I think if you are not telling, if you're person A and you have partner B and you're talking to person C, I think it's very possible that your other partner, partner B, is going to be upset by you not telling person C about them, because then that sounds like sneaky. Why are you hiding me? Are you not proud of me? Like, it comes across like you're maybe angling for cheating, don't ask, don't tell, like covert. Like, it's hard to discern what somebody's intentions are if you can't be open and honest about what your what your relationship status is. But yeah, I don't know if it's disrespectful so much as it is suspicious, I guess. But I feel like, yeah, the disrespect is probably part of that, but I feel like that's not the core emotion that I would necessarily associate with it, at least for me. Oh, that's perfect. Our library has soundproof group rooms. Oh, perfect. Okay, great. Definitely look into that for sure. If you can like make it like a little potluck discussion group meetup thing, I think that'll probably be a really good opportunity. I know it's different for other countries and communities, but any alcohol included in BDSM makes me feel so uneasy, even during splashes. Oh, like slashes? Yeah. Might be a personal issue. Yeah, I mean, that's been kind of my struggle here in Portland is most, if not all, I mean, all of the currently existing public venues, all of them have bars, all of them involve drinking. Sometimes certain events will not have the bar open, and there is a rentable space that sometimes does also have classes at it that does not have a bar attached. But I would say it usually makes me also uncomfortable to be around drinking and kink. Like usually, like I'm not going to say I've never like had a drink and then done something kinky, but usually my decision is if I drink, especially if it's like my first time going to a venue, if there's drinks, I'll have like a drink, I'll sip it throughout the whole event, and I'll just sit and watch. Because for me, I like to make sure that I like the vibe of a space before I start playing there personally myself, even if I bring toys in case I might end up playing. Oh yeah, no problem. Yes, sorry, you got your question answered. Hopefully that gave you a good summary. But hopefully if you want to rewind to the beginning of the stream, that'll be the best way to do it. Ooh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I think definitely if you have a family that has alcohol problems that you don't want to be around. I mean, that's kind of the problem with the community here too. And like a lot of places, like I know in Europe, it's more common for alcohol to be involved. I know a lot of people, like there's a lot of people that are members of AA or are sober for whatever reason that are members of the kink community. And sometimes I feel like it is a little bit of a letdown that like so much of the community, especially play spaces in certain areas, can be very alcohol centric because it simply is like not a welcoming and friendly environment or just accessible at all for a lot of people. Yeah, such a consent is such a cornerstone of BDSM. I agree that alcohol and drugs shouldn't be present at those events. Yeah, I mean, like, it's sort of a... People take the philosophy of you gotta know your own risk profile, know your limits, communicate. It's just something I'm comfortable being around. I've personally experienced too many things that I'm not comfortable with at venues where drinking is happening and mixing BDSM together. I just don't think it usually... I really just feel like it's a matter of time, you know? Like, it's always a matter of time, right? Like, no matter if it's an alcohol-free dungeon or not, consent issues will happen. Predatory behavior is going to happen because of the nature of what we do. It unfortunately can lead to consent violations and bad things happening because of how everything goes on. It's a cultural issue in many countries. It's probably even worse here in Australia. Really? I mean, I feel like I usually hear that America's like, at least when I talk about it, Europeans will be like, it's just because America doesn't know how to drink. They don't have like a proper drinking culture. And they get shitty about it because they basically blame Americans for being too American. And like, if you knew how to drink properly, it wouldn't be an issue to drink and do BDSM. I just really feel like it's not necessary. I just feel like it's playing a numbers game. And when you add alcohol into the equation, it just reduces, like, it goes from like maybe 1 out of 1,000 interactions into like 1 in 100 interactions, you know? Like, it's not constant, it's not all the time, but it's enough of an issue to where it's worth being concerned about. But anyway, sorry, we got off on a tangent there about drinking and alcohol and kink spaces and stuff. But yeah, getting kicked out of bars, not great. Hopefully a discussion group type venue at a library will work better for you. And also probably attract a better group of people. Like, I imagine people that want to show up and do BDSM in public at a bar and be obnoxious about it are probably not going to want to go to a quiet library study group. So hopefully you'll have a better group there and have more fun meeting the right people. Yeah. Anyways, we're way over time now. I gotta go. And thank you all so much for being here. I know it's been kind of a chaotic stream and losing power and having 2 parts and everything. So thank you all so much for being here. We do streams every Friday at 6 o'clock. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and watch the video that I posted earlier today about the care and keeping of your dom. I'd really appreciate